This jar costs $2. This lemon costs 50 cents. And this plunger, $4 at the dollar store. Together, they can fix things on your car that a mechanic would charge you $600 for. Stay until the end. Number 1 is the reason you're here. Why do we keep paying for things we could fix ourselves in 2 minutes? Everything on this list is already in your house. Number 10. Toothpaste. You're driving at night, and your headlights look like they're covered in fog. You're not imagining it. Yellowed, oxidized headlight covers can reduce your light output by up to 80%. That's not just an aesthetic problem, that's a safety problem. And a new headlight cover costs $50 to $150 per side. The fix is sitting in your bathroom. Regular white toothpaste. Apply a small amount to a damp cloth. Rub it into the plastic in firm circular motions for about 2 minutes. Then rinse it off. The mild abrasive in the toothpaste removes the oxidized layer and restores clarity instantly. But here's what the detailing pros won't volunteer. Seal the result with a layer of car wax, or even a thin coat of clear nail polish right after. Without it, the oxidation comes back within a few weeks. With it, you get months of clarity. Coming in at number 9, this one takes 10 seconds the night before and saves you a miserable morning. Number 9. Vinegar spray. It's 7 a.m., you're already late, and your windshield is completely frozen. You grab the scraper and start the 10-minute battle. Meanwhile, your neighbor just sprays something on, waits 30 seconds, and drives away. Their secret: a spray bottle with 3 parts white vinegar to 1 part water, prepared the night before. The acetic acid in the vinegar lowers the freezing point of water, which means frost either doesn't form at all or dissolves almost instantly when sprayed on. Here's what most people get wrong. They spray it on after the frost forms, which works. But the real move is to spray it on the evening before. Let it sit overnight, and you'll come out to a completely clear windshield in the morning. Costs pennies per use. Prep time, 10 seconds. Number 8 tackles something that makes every car interior look 10 years older than it is. Number 8. Olive oil. Look at your dashboard and the plastic trim around your center console. If it looks faded, chalky, or dull, you don't need an expensive interior restorer. You need a few drops of olive oil on a coffee filter or a soft cloth. Wipe it onto the plastic in a thin, even layer. Let it sit for 2 minutes, then buff off the excess. The oil absorbs into the surface, restores depth to the color, and leaves a natural, non-greasy shine that looks far better than most commercial products. What the detailing forums know that you don't: use a coffee filter instead of a paper towel. Paper towels leave tiny lint fibers on dark plastic. Coffee filters have a tighter weave and leave 0 residue. The result is cleaner and lasts longer. Number 7 is for anyone who's ever watched a tiny chip turn into a very expensive problem. Number 7. Clear nail polish. A small stone hits your windshield or your door panel. Tiny chip. You think, I'll deal with it later. 2 months later, that chip has spread into a crack. Rust has started underneath the paint, and now you're looking at a $300 to $800 repair. The moment you see a fresh chip, that same day, take a bottle of clear nail polish and carefully fill the chip with a single thin coat. It seals out moisture and air, stops oxidation before it starts, and prevents the chip from expanding. Here's what most people don't know. This works on bare metal chips in the bodywork too, not just the windshield. It's not a permanent repair, but it buys you weeks or months until you can address it properly, without the rust damage that makes the proper repair so expensive. Number 6 is one of the most satisfying hacks on this entire list. Number 6. Plunger and hairdryer. You come back to a parking lot and find a small dent in your door. No paint damage, just a pushed-in panel. A body workshop will charge you $100 to $300 for that. Before you book the appointment, try this. Heat the dented area for 30 to 45 seconds with a hairdryer. You want the metal warm but not hot to the touch. Then immediately press a standard plunger firmly over the dent, create a seal, and pull straight out with one steady, deliberate motion. On shallow dents up to about 4 inches in diameter, this works more often than you'd expect. The part that actually makes it work: the heat expands the metal very slightly and relaxes its tension. Without that step, The plunger trick fails almost every time. With it, the metal has just enough give to pop back into shape. Coming up at number 5, something that affects every single person who drives on a rainy day. Number 5, shaving foam. You get into a cold car on a rainy day, and within 90 seconds the windshield is completely fogged up on the inside. You crank the defrost, wait, wipe, and it just keeps coming back. Here's the actual fix. Apply a thin layer of shaving foam to the inside of your windshield, let it sit for 1 minute, then buff it completely clear with a dry microfiber cloth. The soap compounds leave an invisible film on the glass that actively repels condensation. The same principle used in anti-fog swim goggles. Here's what surprises most people. This effect lasts for several weeks with a single application. It works on all interior glass, side windows, rear window, mirrors, and it costs literally nothing if you already own a can of shaving foam. Number 4, remember that lemon from the intro? Here's what it's for. Number 4, lemon and salt. You wash your car and it looks great until it dries. Then the water spots appear. White, chalky rings on the windows, the mirrors, the chrome trim. A specialist product to remove them costs $15 to $30. A lemon and a pinch of salt cost almost nothing. Cut a lemon in half, dip it lightly in salt, and rub it directly onto the affected area in small circular motions. The citric acid dissolves the mineral deposits left by hard water, and the salt acts as a gentle abrasive to lift them off the surface. Rinse and dry, the spots are gone, and that's not even the best part. This works just as well on chrome bumpers, door handles, and alloy wheel edges as it does on glass. 1 lemon covers the entire car, and unlike chemical products, it leaves 0 residue that could damage rubber seals or paintwork nearby. Number 3 takes care of something that makes your car smell like a taxi. Number 3, baking soda. Your car has a smell. You've tried 3 different air fresheners and they all just layer on top of it, making it worse. That's because air fresheners don't remove odors, they mask them. The only way to actually neutralize them is to absorb the odor molecules at the source. Pour baking soda generously over your carpet and fabric seats. Let it sit overnight, or at least 4 to 6 hours, then vacuum it out thoroughly. Baking soda is a natural odor absorber. It pulls in the compounds causing the smell rather than just covering them. But here's the version that works even better. Mix the baking soda with 10 drops of essential oil before you apply it. It absorbs the odors and releases a very subtle, clean scent as you vacuum. No synthetic fragrance hangover, just clean. Number 2 is about something you look at every single time you drive, and probably never think about fixing. Number 2, Vaseline. Open any car door and look at the rubber seal running around the frame. Now press your finger into it. If it feels stiff, brittle, or cracked, or if your door is getting harder to close fully, that seal is drying out. A dried out door seal is a direct path for water, wind noise, and cold air into the cabin. Replacing all 4 door seals can cost $200 to $400. Prevention costs almost nothing. Apply a thin layer of Vaseline to all rubber door seals twice a year, spring and fall. It keeps the rubber supple, prevents cracking, and maintains a proper watertight seal. What the manual buries on the last pages. This also works on the trunk seal, the sunroof seal, and the rubber around your windows. 1 jar of Vaseline, 5 minutes, twice a year, and you'll never pay for a door seal replacement. We're down to number 1. This is the reason you've clicked, and it's been sitting in your bathroom the whole time. Number 1, Vaseline. Yes, again, look down at your pedals. If they're rubber and your car is more than 3 or 4 years old, there's a good chance they look scuffed, faded, and worn. The kind of thing that makes the whole interior feel old and neglected. Most people either ignore it or assume it's just where they have to live with. It isn't. Take a cloth, apply a small amount of Vaseline, and rub it into the rubber surface of each pedal. Brake, accelerator, clutch if you have one, buff off the excess. In under 2 minutes, the rubber goes from chalky and dull to deep black and renewed. It looks like a new car. Here's why it actually works. Rubber loses its plasticizers over time through heat and friction. Vaseline partially replenishes those oils, restoring both the color and the texture. The same jar you used on the door seals in hack number 2. The same 2 minutes. And every time someone gets in your car from now on, they look down. And it looks like you just drove it off the lot.